but it's not streaming.
Okay, try and refresh your pages now. Do a hard refresh.
I did a hard. Oh yeah, we're live. Ooh, echo. Yes.
Echo. Cool. Okay, we're echo streaming. Okay, finally. My goodness. Okay, this was so. The thing seems to be with YouTube that there is like some kind of interference when you have two scheduled streams. And when you do not have two scheduled streams, then it still refers back to the one that you scheduled first, even though you're selecting the right stream from the dashboard. So it does not really make sense to me, but eventually it might also maybe, it might make more sense to Trix eventually. So exciting thing today, guys. I'm not moderating this meeting. I'm just answering for everything. So Trix, please take it away. Maybe start with a quick intro for those who do not know you, although I think these are a few, but nonetheless, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Stella. So I'm Triggs. I've been lurking around the Unlock DAO for a while now, and slowly working my way into positions of responsibility. So here's me taking over some tasks. Hopefully this will snowball into many other things. I have a post up for membership and governance steward from a while ago that was put on pause while I activated some summer activities. So this is me getting back into it. So I'll be revisiting that governance proposal soon and revising kind of, where things are what that might look like. But for now, we'll just start with me hosting the weekly DAO calls. So thanks everybody for joining, and hopefully you don't get tired of listening to me talk. So with that, I think the agenda usually runs to, were there any development updates? Do we start with that? Or do you want to go to operations stuff from you, Stella?
This is me. First of all, fantastic choice of colors today, Triggs. I love seeing colorful people on the internet. I mean, it's fall, it's getting gray, so colors +1. Develop update. Yes, I mean, Joseph and I have been merging a lot of small PRs, renovate stuff. We do have the tab view in the Launchpad, so you were asking for a tab view on the event page. Between your events or your event collections, and so we have the tab view PR open. Joseph has reviewed it. I reviewed it. I think it's going to get merged and deployed. If not today, probably tomorrow. So these are some of the small stuff. And again, working my way through a backlog of things. So not a lot more, but it's coming. And also, I'm getting much better with the LLM. So I have a lot of little minions working for me now, which is pretty cool. Hi. That's it for today.
Awesome. Love to hear that. AI minions working in the background is music to my ears. Anything we can do to reduce the cognitive load on the individuals, right? So with those updates, Stella, do you have some operations updates for us?
I guess I have some more general updates. So first of all, I'm sorry I have not yet gotten back to fixing the GitHub issues that Julian and I discussed. I have not had the time to go back to these, but yay! We handed in for the Base Batches Hackathon. So if you guys want to support us, please leave a like. I can drop the DevFolio link again. Also, on the last slide of our pitch deck, we do have a feedback form because we were able to establish the contracts. We were able to have a fully running front end, but we do not have it back end yet. So we want to use the time to actually optimize the front end as much as we can. Because this app gets built no matter what, right? No matter if we're gonna get elected with base batches or not. So I really want to make sure this is going to be at its best before we actually make all the connections and finalize the contracts and everything. So here you guys go. See Danny being busy in the chat. That's awesome. Okay, and I heard that Danny handed in for base batches too. I know that Sissy and her team handed in for base batches too, which is amazing. And I think all of our 3 projects are using Unlock Protocol contracts. So that is obviously going to be cool too. Will, what do you want to say? Say it.
KF Media also submitted for base batches 002, but unfortunately, we're not at the point with that development of using unlock protocol. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We use it in other areas for our ecosystem.
That's awesome. The main point was to motivate some people in the community to hand in. So thank you guys for doing that. That's amazing. Okay, because I know for even in my team, like for me, it was the second hackathon I participated in. My first one was at Ethereum Denver, I think 2023, I think. And you know, even one of my team members, it was her first hackathon. She was super nervous and everything. We handed in literally like last minute. We had all the links finished, right? And we're like, oh, thank God we did it. So it's always a little bit nerve wracking, but good job for doing that. Then I have some merchandise updates. So I do not know if you guys had a chance to check out the member relations channel, but we do have super sexy fisher hats now, bucket hats with what's up, okay? 30 pieces. Obviously the mock-up looks so much nicer because it's so much more organized. We have these t-shirts in the making. They are right now in Gamara. And I can show you a little bit of my trip if you're interested. I think it's always exciting if people don't know how garment districts work at the other end of the world. So this is, you know, me selecting the right purple, right? Then this is the craziness of the print store. So you see they have like 1,000 different print motifs there. And this is the color we actually went for. This is the specific Pantone. So yeah, it can be quite exciting. And yeah, this is the final t-shirt design. So it has the open source symbol, it has a lock, it has the app symbol, it has a key, and it has the community because that's our DNA as locksmiths. You had time to oppose this design. If you didn't take it, I'm sorry. Now you have to live with it. This is going to be it. Cool. What else on operations side? Operating crazy, as you can tell. Oh yeah, this year's advent calendar, I do not have any updates. I do not have any updates on DevConnect ideas. I did reach out though to Nick from Hats Protocol, but they're extremely busy launching their own DAO. So he was like, no capacity whatsoever. We're like so, you know, like into like finishing this big chunk of like what they're trying to do with their DAO. So he was like, no capacity. I was like, don't worry about it. Then I guess I have, damn it, I just realizing Tricks. I'm the only one who's going to talk today, I think, because Sissy cannot make it, Andrew couldn't make it. So I just have to do it. I'm sorry.
I was just thinking about that while you were talking, and I was looking at the agenda. I was like, well, I guess this is it.
This is what you're gonna get. Just see, this is the perfect starting meeting to have you hosted because
just
you
ease
can slide
into
in
it.
slowly. Yeah, you're
5 seconds to me and back to you.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Like do some interruptions so everyone stays awake while I'm monologuing away. Okay, actually have something important to bring up. So I don't know if you guys have actually observed this, but the Itchy Vault, 8 bonds, you might remember that from an ancient time ago. But the Itchy Vault is finally streaming some liquidity to our treasury. So it's actually really exciting. So I set up a quick call with Adam today to talk through what he thinks, what like should we continue doing this because obviously it's working for us, right? Should we do something else? Then I also told him that we had a call with the Rums people this week. In case you haven't caught up on that, that's the influencers we're going to work with. A Rise Up Morning Show, which is Evan Mann, Alex Popovich, and William Watson, I think. They will be on this call next week, just FYI, so you get to meet them finally in person. They're also really eager to onboard their community. So it's not just going to be like a random influencer campaign. This is why we specifically wanted to do it with them, because they really want to token gate their circle community. They want to do stuff with Unlock, right? They are going to publish some educational courses that they want to give out certificates on chain for. So their whole setup is they started as individual crypto influencers, but now that they've been in the space for quite some time, they really want to make use also of the tools, right? And as we know, this sometimes takes a little bit of thinking and evolution, blah, 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 but they are there yet. So this is why Ceci and I worked our way forward to working with them specifically, and maybe not with anyone else out there that would have been an option as well. And I think that's going to be really cool. So they're gonna come to us, but we're also gonna be on their show next week, as just like a little bit of an intro piece, saying like, hey, like we're like DAO, Unlock DAO community. This is like the cool shit you can do with our protocol. And in the next 3 months, we're gonna share more about this with Evan, Alex, and William. And we're going to teach you guys how you can do this for your own communities, for your own projects, for your private use, or for whatever you want to do with it, right? So it's a very like planned through kind of like schedule of like events and activations and all of this. Also going to meet them obviously during Dev Connect. And anyway, going back to Adam, we talked, and he suggests the following. He suggests that we consider essentially making another proposal to send another 25,000 worth of app to the contracts, right, to the vault. We do another one for 30 days vesting period between 5 and 25%. And the front end fee for this would be 5% of the 25K, which means it's 1,250 USDC for their work, essentially, which I think is legitimate. So anyways, I'm going to put these numbers, because right now they exist on a whole pink piece of paper. I'm going to put them in the same channel that we had for discussion before, after our call is over, so we can discuss for this week. But I want to say I would like to put up this proposal next week, and not put a rush on it, obviously, but like move this forward more quickly than we originally did with them, because we're one of the few projects like this on their platform. And if you look at the dashboard, you can see the people who've been buying our token are top tier wallets, which is actually really awesome, because these are people who've been buying for quite some time, and they like to invest in projects usually that have like some purpose, right? So you can be like me and stalk the wallets and see what else they're holding. Then you see what I mean. But the point is, I think, why should we stop right now? Because honestly, we do not have much like other awesome options for creating liquidity, right? And this seems to be something that is working. So why not continue on this path as long as it makes sense? Because Adam told me the same thing. We have some momentum now. Why not keep going on that momentum, right? And he said, if then, I don't know, we're flexible. If we see in a month from now momentum is gone, it doesn't make sense, then we release it back to your treasury, whatever, right? But as long as it's like flowing, why the hell shouldn't we keep that path working for us? Because obviously it's also working for them, right? I mean, it's a DeFi protocol, meaning they cash in with every trade that's being made on their platform. So it's working for them, it's working for us. Gemara is another thing. Yeah, it really is. It's out of this world sometimes. And do not worry, I washed everything. Okay, just so you know, Garment District is not like the super cleanest district in the world. So everything has been washed twice. I like, thank you, Stella. I would have been stuck on the startup track, I believe, if it wasn't for you. You're all good. You're all good. Don't worry. Okay, so I guess I gave an update on this. I gave an update on that. We still have to ideate on like really cool ideas for Dev Connect. We have somewhat of an initial plan that I think would be good if Cece were to tell you this next week. But any other ideas you might have, really welcome. I also just got actually So I applied for Shelling Point, and it seems while I cannot hold a presentation specifically, they asked me to hold a fireside chat. And I'm like, sure, why the hell not? So we're going to do that then, right? Okay, I just see. What do you guys think? There's like 3 available spots. There's 12:35, there's 2:50, and then there's 4:10. Should I do 12:35? Yes? Okay, then I write her back now so she can book this for me. Maybe also I can send you a calendar, right? Thank you. And then the email, and then we have this done as well. So that's been working well. Nice. Okay. We have also, so Andrew had a call with Sarah Sawyer from Treasure Corp. I believe I told you guys before. It's essentially a tool to manage a DAO treasury efficiently and very transparently. So it's much more detailed than what we see on Tally. On Tally, we just see like the different tokens in the treasury, right? We cannot differentiate between for example, what are the categories that we made spendings on. So if you, let's just say, if for example, we approved a budget proposal for these 2 quarters that we're currently still in, to spend let's say, $20,000 on marketing initiatives, right? But in Tally, you cannot really see that. Yes, you see the proposal, you see the spending eventually, but it's not being categorized as a marketing spending. So what Treasure Corp can do for us is essentially delivering more granular details about how money is spent, and also the impact it has, which I think is very interesting. We supplied them with some more information. But I think this will be up and running fully, I want to say in the next 2 weeks. So I hope Andrew can maybe come in next week and show it to us as a dashboard, or at least in 2 weeks. And yeah, and then I guess the last point is, I don't know, Trix, you want to say 2 words so it's not just so boring and me talking all the way through. It just feels very lonely right now. So
yeah, actually, I had some closing thoughts that I wanted to share about the success and progress of the vaults that we're doing and the influencer conversation that we're going to have next week. I think that all of this, I remember when this conversation came up, there was a handful of us that were talking about yeah, let's try the experiment, but there needs to be more behind it to make this carry momentum, kind of like you were saying. And I think we're doing that. I've been really impressed with a lot of the direction that so many of these different projects that Unlock as a whole are chasing down. And, I think that, yeah, but I think that's what really matters, because when people see these opportunities like these vaults, they look to see what other activity is happening from that organization to determine, is this actually an active project that is investable, or is this just another, flash grab DeFi, kind of cycle that's going to burn itself out. And when they see the amount of activity that's happening from this DAO, the amount of output that's emanating from the DAO as a whole, and it's not just from one person individually, there's a lot of people that are contributing and putting that word out there. And so I think we have the momentum because the DAO is putting in the work. And that's why we got the numbers right this time, so it makes sense from a numbers perspective, but we also have the output to back those numbers. And I think that's why we're seeing these, bigger name wallets starting to get interested in this investment, or the token as a concept. It's doing something.
Yeah, I agree on that. And this actually doing all of his events on Unlock and just continuously, very consistently being out there and saying, hey, I'm using Unlock. Basically, why are you not using Unlock, right? Jonathan, who's been managing the LinkedIn account extremely well, right? So our growth on LinkedIn is actually, in comparison, I want to say, to the different channels, it's the best one right now. because Ceci and I did a comparison analytics the other day. So it's going really well. We're organically growing, right? If we had millions to spend on marketing, sure, we could do this, right? But we don't have it, so we're organically growing, which in my opinion is anyway more healthier growth, which is good. And then, Danny building this into his platform, being on a very different continent from all of us, right? And promoting Unlock left and right and making sure people know about it and the opportunities. Gosman, who already wrote 2 really great articles, I think is working on a 3rd one right now. And so it's like a lot of like little cogwheels, right? And yes, I know we're not all on every DAO call all the time, but I personally do not think that's necessary. I'm really happy that people are picking up little increments of this and making it their own because they want to, they choose to do it. So thank you for seeing that, and thank you for doing it. And now I guess I get to my last point. How does Durgadas always say I'm utilitarian? Like I'm like so focused on
Yep.
getting the stuff done, right?
That's why you're a good leader.
Julian, I got so offended the first time he called me utilitarian, because I was like, that's just pressing me into one shell that I do not want to exist in, like just one shell. But in a way, he was not wrong about it either. So I guess my last point is a discussion point, really, of how to move forward with the Latina blockchain hackathon. So let me try and wrap this into a little bit of context for those who have missed out on the conversation. A Latina Blockchain Hackathon is a first-time hackathon that happened here in Lima. It comes out of a community that's usually more focused, I want to say, on marketing and education around Web3. It comes from a community that's called High Women Biz. So it's female empowerment, essentially, here in the space, which I have to say is a really hard spot to carve out here in Peru. I do not know how familiar you guys are with this, but Peru is one of the most conservative, I want to say, countries in South America. So it's really not an easy job to do, and I think they have done a really fine job with the work that they've been doing so far. So when they approached us for a hackathon, I was like, yeah, why not? Let's try this, right? And they also requested up from the treasury, which we gave them. So I think we agreed already previously that sponsoring these kind of things with up is also a benefit to us, because people might get interested in doing more with the protocol. The problem is when I was a judge there, so only 6 projects actually finished. And out of the 6 projects, I think we, like Danny and me, because we both went into this at some point, because I was like, I guess I need help with verifying if it's just me assuming I cannot find the contracts or the hooks being referenced, or maybe you cannot either, and then essentially these project people, they lied to us, right? So, or at least did something on a little bit like distorted pretenses. Let's not call it lying, because I don't think there was any malicious intent whatsoever. So anyways, Danny and I think we could only verify the existence of the contracts for 2 projects. And it eventually, the 2 projects that were out there, one did essentially mint a contract to the front end, right, and then linked it, which there's nothing wrong with doing it, right? There's nothing wrong with doing it this way. It was just, the app was just giving out certificates without any kind of like verification process. So, people could just like essentially buy their JavaScript developer certificate. I was like, well, that's not a good app, because it's like essentially supporting fraud, right? So I made that comment as well. I said, hey, if you're doing this, great, but then do it where there's a KYC process, so people have to verify that they actually can do what they are getting the certificate for, right? That is the only thing that makes sense. And the other project, there was something off about this as well. So I was very hesitant of just like giving the prices, right? And I said, look, I don't think at this stage we should really like hand out the prices. And Lillian, who has been here on the DAO call before, was, she's a very she's a good listener, and she was like, yeah, well, you're not wrong about this, right? So, but she also defended the projects and said they had too less time. They're very beginner stage, but they all want to keep working on these projects, and they're going to be on an incubator, and maybe we should consider supporting them like through that incubator. So she essentially wrote in the channel, I think yesterday or early today, and I'm going to send you guys the link to this. She wrote, hey, Stella Achenbach and team, I understand, and regarding their points of view, and also the participants have made great effort to meet the deadlines and use cases. Also, as part of our commitment to the DAO, we're providing you with our shared report containing a detailed update on the results of the Latina Blockchain Startups Program, including the results of the finalists, the next steps for incubation, and how we plan to ensure that the adoption goals with Unlock are achieved. So she's essentially saying, hey, it might not have been achieved right now, but do you give us more time to actually achieve those goals? And I'm personally inclined to say yes. Yeah, but also maybe I'm a little bit too close to this. The point is, in this document that I just put you in the chat, she is essentially giving an overview, but then she also gives us like 3 options that we could decide to do. Price alignment proposal is we request feedback from Unlock on price allocation, proposing 3 options. And let me actually share my screen on this one, so you guys can follow me. Follow me here. Right? Do you see this? Yes? Anyone?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So requesting feedback. Option A is award prizes now to the 2 teams that completed a deploy, 2 of the 3 prizes. Option B, award prizes after the incubation program, recognizing teams that reach full production and traction, more recommended. Option C, the prizes can be returned to the DAO if they determine that no project merits it. So I want to say, please have a look at the projects, right? Because I looked at all the projects here. The Dora hack profiles works very similar to DevFolio, and you can look at the projects and get your own impression from them. I think some of the concepts are very good, especially for Peru. But yeah, it definitely, all of them would need more work, is the truth. So I'm personally inclined, if we put this up for a vote, I do not know, or if we're just deciding this up on the conversation that we're having in the channel, which is also an option, we could, maybe consider option B. There's not a lot of opportunities to learn these things here, to be very honest with you. All universities here are paid. There's no such thing as free education. So maybe cutting people some slack and saying, okay, let's have them get to that point, right? But also have a go at the actual Discord channel. So this is still a DAO. Do your own research. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So take a look at this Discord channel. It's from the Latina Blockchain Hackathon, or a startup incubator, whatever. Point is, you give it a look. You see my comment. You also see Ceci's comment. Ceci is much stricter, but it's also because she's a founder of Ethereum Bolivia, and Ethereum Bolivia has been doing an incredibly good job on these things, right? So of course she is looking with a much more critical eye, because she has been organizing a hackathon just like that, multiple in fact. So it's good that she is more strict on this, and she's asking some very important questions back that I'm sure Lillian will get back to tomorrow. And yeah, I guess that's my monologue for today. Yeah, you like it?
That was good. Way to go. Good thing you've had so much practice hosting this call so that you can run a long monologue if you need to.
Right? Isn't that fantastic? Yeah. Julia, what's up?
I mean, I was just going to say you did a good job, so I'm fine with this.
Good. Okay. I think main point is always of this meeting, right, to get everyone up to speed on what's been going on. There's always a lot of wheels turning. There's also Will was yesterday on a meeting with us for Women of Web3, and Janine, who is their artist. They are going to launch an art collection on Unlock Protocol that is going to support women using the human passport hook within Unlock Protocol, because I feel this has been a little bit we felt this has been overlooked, and it's actually very, very important and very cool feature. So we want to get more eyes on this. So feel free to join the stream. It's going to be obviously live on YouTube with some luck. This time is also going to work on LinkedIn. Cross your fingers, but worst case, just gotta go to our YouTube channel, or of course you gotta go to our YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna advertise Human Passport. They have their own channels. Human Passport people can go to the other channels. No, but I'm really happy that they're coming on. Kara is obviously doing a lot of work on, outreach side still, has been poking some people to get back to me. So I'm super grateful for that. Anupa has been doing really great work on the ambassador program. You're going to be amazed, Trix, when you get to meet her. I think she reached out to you, right? So first of all, she's a very a fun and good person to talk to, but also she's very strict and organized. So don't be surprised. She's the best of both worlds. And she's been doing really well on putting, essentially resources together for the first real cohort of.
It's fleeting. Continue as you were.
Okay, you're good. All right, guys. I guess that's it from me today. I don't have any more updates. I think that was already a lot, to be honest. Do you even remember the first thing we talked about? I do not, so it's fine.
Will, we got your hand up now.
We're just trying to set up a stream. That's what we're trying.
Just as a reminder, everyone, GG24 round, which I believe Unlock is in, closes out in about a little over 4 hours. So if you do feel inclined, please support the protocol that supports you.
Thank you, Will. Thank you for being the only one who's thinking about this. It feels it's not true, okay? We also have been thinking about this, but great reminder, because it really runs out in a few hours. And the truth is, I got us through the process. Can you believe this? We're actually givebacks eligible. So it was worth the pain of going through this incredible, crazy evaluation process. So from now on, whenever we have a round that runs through Giveth, we're actually, as a protocol, we're eligible for give back, meaning
that ecosystem. Yeah, so there's that. So it goes beyond just quadratic funding. But yeah, right now, the quadratic funding is important because the matched funds are amplified.
Yeah. So, guys, please do it. What can I say? Please do it. Thank you, Will, for bringing this up. I was so in my head about 20 other things, and once I have accomplished a task, other tasks, they start vanishing. Start vanishing somewhere into the back end of my head. So thank you for saying this. This is really cool. So it seems if you guys are around during DevConnect and have a ticket to Shelling Point, I will be holding a fireside chat about stewardship and DAOs. So obviously going to speak about Unlock at around 12:35 p.m. Location time. So stop by if you have a ticket. That is, need a Shelling Point ticket. Without that, no way you're getting in, sadly. But yeah, that about that. I really don't want to end this call for some reason. Please, Triggs, help me.
Triggs, hold. Get control.
Yeah. All right. Well, it seems like we've wrapped it up. Been a great call. Lots of good updates, and I appreciate everybody for jumping in and
good points about what some of the things that we're doing would translate to in terms of locks and mints and measurable impact vectors. And so I created these projections of the potential locks and mints and what's possible with the pilot program that we're looking to start. And So I'd like people to take a look at that and let me know what you guys think. And if it's good enough, then maybe we can move forward with that. And also, I would love to get a bunch of people to that are, if they're willing to work with me um, on the curriculum. So I already have a draft that I'm working with, but I would like to develop that draft. And if you look at the document, there's a part where there's a caveat on the lock creation part. So I would like to put in a task that would involve creation of locks, because what that would mean is for every cohort, we could potentially have over maybe 300 locks created. So, and that's if we use the minimum number of people, which is like 50. So if the cohort's number scales to more than that, then the number of locks, I'd love to plan with people as well. So I just wanted to bring that up and try to see what could be removed or added to make sure that the curriculum is actually impactful and really beneficial to the learners and also the protocol as well, because it's a big part of everything.
Yeah, I love it. This is exactly the kind of stuff that makes DAOs great. I appreciate that, Danny, you recognize the value of the feedback that you've gotten and the participation in testing and stuff. Everybody has a unique perspective, unique experience, and together all of that adds up to being more than the sum of its parts, right? So here we are DAOing away. Look at us go. And I think that's a great note to wrap things up with. So thanks for DAOing with us, everybody. It's been another fantastic weekly update. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. And we've got a lot on the agenda, so probably be a good week next week. All right, see you guys there.
Bye, everyone. I gotta come for some